Recorded.
Hello, everyone. This is Ken Quigley from Keystroke, and this is the last webinar that we're doing in our ActAdvantage training series. So we're going to likely do one in a month or so, but we've been running these for about 8-9 weeks now, and this is the last one before launch. So with that, let me jump in. This one will be on Link2chat. And as I said in the invite, we're going to be covering, we're going to do a deep dive on the product, but also, some of the new commercial considerations and new feature considerations for how it will operate within ActAdvantage. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing, why Link2chat? Like all of the Linktivity apps, it's designed to put Act at the very core of people's ecosystem. And obviously, as it's part of ActAdvantage, that will become even more so. So, as I said in the past on other product demos, most businesses will have a website. They'll have web forms, they'll have online appointment settings, and obviously most of them will have chat services. The output from all of these, because they tend to be cobbled together from third-party apps or part of their content management system, generally is something that lands in people's inboxes. So they've got to stop what they're doing in the middle of their workday. They've got to copy and paste information into Act, and it's a very disruptive process. So our goal was to make all three of these services read and write to Act and use that integration to build more efficient lead management systems. And by extension, okay, I got some people making some noise here, so okay. Make the lead management system a little bit more efficient. That's basically the goal of Link2chat. So what are the features? Well, content management. They will, when you first initiate a chat, it's going to link to existing contacts or create new ones. So there's, first of all, that quick search. The second thing is it's going to save all the chat logs to the contact records and then prompt you to schedule follow-ups with a single click. Now, here's a point. I'm going to show you the PWA chat client, but for technical reasons, this will not be included with the ActAdvantage. It's just not supported in the iframe setup. So I'm going to show you how what alternative you'll be using. This basically it's going to operate inside of a browser. Okay, not the dedicated PWA chat client. The next thing is the team collaboration. Now, I can tell you we've had chat services on our website for many years, and what we've typically had to do is assign one person to it, and that created a bit of a burden, and not a lot of companies have the ability to assign one person to a chat service and really nothing else. So what we're doing with this is to kind of spread the load across everyone and do it seamlessly in a way that, not only can the load be distributed across different departments, but across different people within those departments, so that really nothing gets missed. Okay, we've got little tools for quick responses. We call them hotkeys, but they're actually little menu items. We'll show you how those work with FAQs, and then feedback surveys. This is a customer service, so we want to be able to harvest some of the data that we collect during this process and use some of the integrated tools to do that. So let's talk about the tiers. So as you guys know, there are 3 tiers within ActAdvantage. There's standard, there's professional, and there's ultimate. And I apologize for the overlapping tier name, but as you guys also know, we had 2 tiers within most of our Linktivity products, standard and team. Team has been rebranded by Act as Advanced. So it's standard and advanced. I'm sorry if that's confusing, but the standard tier included with ActAdvantage standard includes a single user. So they cannot have multiple websites, okay? Multiple users. Single channel, they can only have one website. So in our case, where we actually have an English and a French version, those are considered 2 websites. Obviously, we've got Q sales, we've got Linktivity, we've got Keystroke, we've got, Project Kickstart, Web Planner, all of these different things that represent different websites. The standard tier would not support that. Okay. And the last thing is the multiple categories. The multiple categories, um, what that would mean is departments. So for instance, and I'm going to show you how this will surface on your website, is if we want to provide people the ability to click through on admin or accounting or support or sales or something like that, then people are not going to have to sift through and relay through the wrong people. They can actually drill down directly based on the advanced features, okay, of Link2chat. They can drill into exactly who they want to speak to. Okay, so with that, let's get into the webinar. Okay, right here, let's try this again. Okay. So the first thing, obviously, if you want to familiarize yourself in the interim, click on products, go to linktivity.net, click on online chat, and you can go through all of these different things. Now, these are still talking about the commercial details as they exist within Linktivity. Obviously, disregard that. Just focus on the $5 thing won't apply. But you can watch the video, things like that, and view the screenshots. Those will be consistent. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click on My Account and bring me into the back end here, and I'm going to click on Link2chat. Okay, just cue this up here. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to go into, now this, I said that the PWA client is not available. This is the PWA client, okay? So this is the dedicated web client that works with it. It does not work within APC, okay? It's all operating within an iframe environment, so it's not supported. But this is what you would work with instead, okay? And now we'll go here. Now let's go over to the channels, okay? Now the channels is, now obviously when you first start this, there's going to be no channels, okay? Remember, a channel is a website. So all the settings that you're going to have within this is going to be specific to a website. So I'm going to click on edit, okay? And you're going to see, first of all, what's the channel name? What's the channel prefix? That's going to help you with your chat tickets. What departments exist here? So you can add the departments, but if they're not checked, they will not appear on your menu on your homepage. Now let's go to advanced, okay? So there's two boxes here that are important to understand. So the first one is going to appear for everyone. They're going to ask for their name or your email. You can add additional ones. I don't recommend it. Who wants to create a high barrier to entry? Now, if they fill this out and it recognizes the contact in your database, then that's done. It advances to the next stage. If it doesn't, then what you can do is you can prompt for additional field information to say, hey, we don't recognize you. Can you also provide us with your phone, company, or any other field? Okay. And this is where you can say, ask additional details separately if contact is not found in ACT. You can put in here that asks the same information both times, but I think that's going to be tedious when you don't need it, okay? Now, here is your customer satisfaction form, specifically form. And what that will mean is that you can select from all the forms that you've created within Link2Forms. If you have a workspace with other licensed users, as you will get with the professional tier, then you're going to get access to all of those there, okay? So what you want to do is you want to go into Link2Forms, you want to create a quick customer satisfaction form, and it will send that one out with a click of a button. And then the last thing is, who is the record manager of this? Who owns this chat account, okay? Now we go over to system messages. Here's where you can modify a lot of the predictable prompts, okay? Welcome to live chat. You've selected such and such department. welcome to live chat. All of these different things, we have pre-populated them, so you don't have to think up any of them, but they're certainly available for edit, okay? Like for instance, the email transcript. Attached, please find the transcript for your recent chat with us, blah, 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 okay? And then here is the rate us one. So all of these little merge forms are built right within the program, and you shouldn't have to change any of them, but obviously it supports the ability to do so. And then the style, okay? I'm going to show you what it looks like on the front end. So, obviously we're big fans of orange, so we incorporate the orange as much as we can. And we provide the ability to put in the RGB code. You see here, Deb showed up with the ACT logo, which is RGB. It's a FE5000. Okay, so you can select whatever you're using on your website or your corporate logo or whatever, just to provide the ability for it to blend in better with your website. Okay, and then you've got presets here. Not going to really get into those because those will erase what I've already done. Okay, so those are the settings pretty much. So that those will be the initial ones. So I'm going to go here. Now, along here, you've got a couple of things that may seem like they're overlapping a little bit. So watch this. So I can click on copy link, and I'm going to go over here, and that link is just going to be a hyperlink. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like. Now, obviously, a full page chat session is a bit ugly. Okay, so you're not going to use it. You're going to probably put it in as a button. Okay, now if you guys heard that little click, click, that is the notification from within the chat session. So we have an open one here. Okay, for Braun. Okay, thanks for playing along, Braun. Okay, so let's go back here. The other thing here is the create embedded code. Now, I'm going to show you what the button looks like and what the pop-up looks like and what the embedded code looks like. But for now, if you need to hand this to your web editor, okay, here's your choices. So here is the chat pop-up, okay, which I'll show you in a minute. So you provide this code to them. If you wanted to put an inline frame, okay, here it is, and now it's set for 100%, so it's going to fill up any object. Now, I'm not going to get into showing you how to insert them into the back end of your website. It's exactly like forms, okay? So you can work with your web editor on that, okay? And then the last one is link, okay? So this would be useful if you want to put it inside of a button, okay? And then you've got these little copy functions right here to copy all the text, okay? And you can actually, I can see here with the inline frame, you can actually change the color codes on the fly. Make sure that you put in the pound sign, otherwise it won't translate, okay? Now we tried to put in, some basic information like how to insert it in WordPress or Joomla or anything like that. Honestly, there's too many examples to exhaustively put in here. So, just rely on who's ever editing their website management system, and they'll know how to work with iframes. Iframes, pop-ups, or buttons, okay? Buttons being the links. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, and then the last one is obviously if you want to delete the channel. I thought maybe there'd be a duplicate. We could probably put in a duplicate one there. And then here's the departments. So we can create the departments here. So if I was going to put in janitorial, who do I want to pick on? Okay, let's put in myself. Okay, put in myself and my wife here. I'll probably get crap for that when I get home. Okay, so here I've created the janitorial channel. Okay, and I can delete that department. I can edit it again. I can add additional people. But let's see what that looks like when we pivot over here and I click on, okay, oh, see what I did there? I did not finish the settings. So I got to go back into the channel now that I've added the department. Has there ever been a presentation where I don't have to lament about my internet speed? I'm actually in the process of getting it upgraded, thankfully, so I don't have to incorporate some Jeopardy theme music here. Come on. Okay, so now I can now click on this and go back. And now the janitorial has been. Now the purpose of this is, as I said, if I am showing up at the site as a visitor, I may not want to have to go through, people in support, or if I've got, how do I pay my bill? Okay, I can click on any one of these things and I can drill down, and the people that you saw me select within each department will get an alert. Okay, they'll get that little ding that you heard earlier when Bronwyn called in. Now, this is how you surface it within an iframe. If you want to surface it within the click to chat here, or not click to chat, but you click here, this will pop up either to a full page or to a light box, however you've got to configure it. That's on the website page. And then here is the pop-up, okay? Obviously, we prefer the pop-up, and that's what's within our site. So this will be down at the bottom. Okay, someone just joined. Can they please mute themselves? Sorry. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so I've got all of that set up. Now, let me close here. Now let's go over to the conversation, because this is what you guys will see when you're working with it. So I've got this, okay. Bron, thanks for calling in during the Link2chat demo. Okay, now you see how it's identified myself here, because I'm actually logged in, okay, through the Linktivity session. I've gone in here, you can see Karthik, okay, and even Michael is in here. Michael's multitasking as well, okay, and hopefully this doesn't get sensitive, but we can manage the chat right from within here. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the options. You can see here, I've got all the chats that recent. You can see multiple pages here. I can filter by department if I don't want to see other pages. Okay, if I want to go to janitorial, obviously I just created that. There's none here. If I want to go to support, I'm going to see most of them, including the open one here. If I click on show unanswered chats only, if I want to click on here and say show all conversations or all unassigned, I've got different filters, okay? I also have the ability to search right within it. So if I typed in something like Braun, it's going to find it, okay? So that's really useful if you're toggling around, okay, in different sessions, okay? So, okay, and pet behavior, okay. She's having fun. Okay, so let's go into, I can open this in a new window, but again, the install app is a feature you're going to want to avoid, because obviously that is going to be an incompatibility with the iframes of ActAdvantage. Now here, just going across the top, you can see that you've got view room details here, assign to an agent. So if I clicked here, I can assign this to another agent. Here are all the people that are available and that I can assign to, okay? And then monitor the conversation. I've kind of flagged that one. I believe that yep, I flagged that one, so that is on my watch list over here. Okay, I've got my search here. Now, some of the options that you're going to see across here are going to disappear or get grayed out when this closes, okay, or be unavailable. So let me just click on download script. Let me see here. No, actually, those are still available. That's good. Okay, so here, I think it is, I can't change the status, right, because this is closed. Okay, so here, let's go across with this. So this one is obviously search in the conversation, write transcript to history. So at this point, I'm going to click here. Do I want to write the transcript thus far to Bronwyn's history? Yes. This is really nice of her to play along. Perfect timing. Okay. Now you see here, I've got this little notification on my screen at the bottom. It's actually off screen. I can't show it to you here. So this is taking a bit. It's writing the chat log to the history. Not sure why it's taking quite this long. This could be another function of my slow internet. Okay, there it is. Transcript successfully written to act history. Now, if I want to download the transcript, I can do so, and it shows up as the file right here. Okay, I've got everything I want, and I can email this directly. I can, copy certain sections of it, whichever. You guys all get that. Okay. Now, then I can email the transcript all in one step. So if I click on here, do I want to, I've got the option to say, yes, I want to send to them. I also have the option to insert the customer satisfaction link in the same step. Okay. Now, if I am, if everything is going well, this chat is brilliant, she says. So I'm going to click on send satisfaction survey. Boom. It goes right into the chat link. Okay. Nice and simple. Don't normally get people playing along quite this well, but Bronwyn's timing is perfect. And then I can obviously delete the whole thing. Now, at this point, if I am in, now she, on her side, I don't have that open, but if it had been open over here, she can exit the chat, okay? And then that will close it on this side. Or what I can do is I can just end the conversation this way, okay? Now look what happens when I try to end the chat. If I have not done any of these things, I'm immediately prompted to say, do you want to record the history? Do you want to email the transcript to the contact? Do you want to schedule a follow-up? And do you want to send the customer satisfaction survey? This thing here is really, really important. The people that are hitting your website, they're either visitors that can become prospects, then customers, or they're existing customers that are coming to your website for a specific reason. It is support related, it is admin related, it is sales related. You don't want to let these things slip through the cracks. If you are relying on a support rep that is, juggling tickets to make sure that this is, properly followed through, and he's got to go through, open up ACT, look up the contact and all of that, none of that's going to happen while he's juggling several support tickets. But now you can just click on here and boom, you can see all of the information available here. You can see that it's scheduled with Braun, the call type, schedule when, okay? And even this could be part of the support. When would you like someone to follow up with you? And you can even say schedule to someone that you don't like, okay? Simple as that. And now it's in their calendar, all in one step. And that's, again, that's one of the beauties of it being fully integrated, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually enter in through this, and I'm going to start a chat. You're going to see what it looks like on the front end. So I'm going to pick on janitorial, and I'm going to say Chris Huffman, Chris.Huffman at keystroke.ca. Wouldn't we all love to get that? Okay, so I just got a new notification. Unfortunately, it's on another screen from my browser. Okay, now if I go back over here, I can see now that is open, okay? And see what it said. An existing contact record for Chris Huffman has been found in the ACT database. So this customer is not going to be prompted. Oops, where are we again? This customer is not going to be prompted for any additional information. So, okay. Okay. And so on and so forth. So you can see here that, it's absolutely instantaneous. I'm just going to close this one. Okay. Now, at this point, obviously this is a fictitious chat, so I want to see what it looks like closing it on my end. So I'm going to click on end chat. You want to end the conversation now? Boom. Thank you for contacting us. Feel free to send another message if you have any further inquiry. Should you need to refer back to this conversation, please reference this number. Okay. Now, this is one of those little messages that I showed you right at the beginning that you can configure or edit for your purposes. But now they've got all that they need. Okay. And I'm going back to my conversation. Look what's happened. The window, because it was closed on their end, automatically popped up. So now I can say, okay, um, let's say record transaction. Let's just email. Okay. And I'm going to send. Okay. And this has been sent. And now I'm going to see down here. Okay. And just do. Okay. So now, because I've got Chris Huffman's email forward to my Gmail, come on now. Please find the attached transcript for your recent chat with us. Should you need to refer back, here it is. Okay, so they can download this and open it up just like you guys saw previously. Okay, and here's the actual content. Pretty simple, eh? I love this program. We were paying a fair bit of money for our third-party chat service. It doesn't do, the only thing that our program doesn't do that the previous one did was integrate with Slack. But the reason that we needed it to integrate with Slack is that we had one person monitoring it and we wanted everyone to be alerted to it. We don't need this now, okay? Everyone on the professional tier, okay, or the ultimate tier, every single user is going to get a license of the advanced tier of Link2chat. So, you just install it on each person's laptop or computer, and they will all get notified of relevant chat requests. Okay, that's pretty much covering what I wanted to cover. So let me just pivot over here and open this up to any questions. Any questions from anyone?
Did you see my chat?
Let's see here. My screen has gotten a little goofy here. I'm not seeing the screen. I'm getting an error message. Okay, so Jean, can you share with me?
Yeah. So I'm just wondering right now, as this is working, agents who are responsible for answering the chats
Yep.
would have to be logged into Linktivity and Link2chat and just have that running.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And how will that work the same way once we move to the new Act Advantage plans? Like it's
Yeah.
not good enough. It's not good enough to just be logged into Act. You have to be.
That's a fair question. I'll have a better answer on that next week because we were going through some troubleshooting with the Link2chat iframe integration this past week. So I'm going to have to see how that works outside of ACT, but that's a great question.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Thank
obviously, the with APC, yeah, I actually don't know, so I'm going to have to get back to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Ken, this is Deborah.
Hey,
Two
Deb.
questions. One is
Mhm.
agent names. Can you change them from the ACT username or the ACT contact name to something generic like service or support?
Well, you can name the departments that. I think that um, that it's going to pull the their login name from the Linktivity side. Okay. It's You know what, Deb? I'm surprised I haven't had that request before. That's a very good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Second one, site speed. Does this affect site speed? I know third-party chat tools do.
I I'm not going to make anything up. I have not seen any difference in performance with and what I would say is that the site speed is might be perceived on the client end, based on the extra bandwidth, but I haven't seen it both with our previous chat service or our existing one.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I would say I suspect not. Okay, but there may be other elements to that, but we haven't had anyone, we haven't experienced it ourselves. Okay, and we actually host our own website. Um, so I would think that we would feel it probably sooner than others.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other requests? Any other questions?
And
Yeah,
it's Shannon. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Uh, Ken, can you show us what it looks like inside of ACT? In other
Cannot.
words,
I cannot.
what does the history look like and the activity
Oh,
type?
sorry. That yes. Um, the history is okay. So let me. Okay, I've got an RDB here on my desktop, so let me. Okay, so let me just. Okay, I am going to. I'm just going to sync up. Okay, and then I'm going to come back to your questions after I get that information. Okay.
Okay, while I've got you, when somebody types in their email address,
Hmm.
nowadays everybody's got more than one email address. Does it
Yeah,
search for all email addresses on the contact record, or does it only look for the primary email address?
I'm going to have to get back to you on that. That's a very good question. I know that a lot of our SDK add-ons can search for all of them, but the developer has already finished for the day. So I'm going to have to get back to you, Scott. If you can send me an email to follow up so I don't
Yeah,
forget.
happy to do
Okay.
that.
But that's an excellent question. Okay. I believe it works with just a primary email address. Um, as I said, I know that Act for Outlook can search all the fields, but that's a plugin, so there may be some additional options for that. Um, but you're right, like the one when you're dealing with endpoints, it tends to be a little bit trickier. But I'm not going to guess. I'll get back to you.
Well, and the other question then, obviously, in some instances, you might have, for example, an email address that's shared among two or three people. So would
That
it
I hope
allow
not.
you to pick which contact it is? Um, so I might, for example, have two or three people that share a sales at software for advisors email. Um,
See, Scott, your first question was good. Now you're bugging me.
okay,
I I
never
have
mind.
no idea.
Never mind.
I mean, no, I'm
Yeah.
obviously being playful, but I I really the system, because email fields are meant to be unique. I don't think we would make any changes to allow for non-unique emails. So that would be something that I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate any changes on that. But I'm just syncing now. When the sync is complete, I'll show you what the history looks like. Okay.
Mhm.
Shannon, you had a question.
I did. I think it's kind of what Jane was saying. Perhaps I was in Linktivity now we have like the one portal where you can manage the multiple products. Is there,
Mhm.
do you know, is there going to still be something
Yes.
like that? Okay.
Yeah. So what it's going to look like is you're going to have, let's bring this over here. Okay. So you're going to have the ACT interface. Okay. You know what's better? Let me just go to, show off the new interface here. I'm sure most of you guys have seen. Okay. So down here, there's going to be a menu option that says additional features. Okay. And when you click on the additional features, it's not going to look like this. It's going to look like a bunch of outlined buttons. Okay. And there's going to be an additional option down here for admin. So you can go in here and run admin functions, things like that. But the additional features is just going to be a bunch of buttons all kind of broken down into categories. And you would just click on them, and that would be the de facto Linktivity home screen. Okay.
Okay, so I know these are like iframe, but so the way I work is right now I have like a browser window open that has all the link to quotes in it. So I on my two monitors I have
Mhm.
like link to quotes, you know, on one monitor and then I have ACT on the other. Am I still, do you know if I'm still going to be able to do that?
Um, I don't know yet, to be
Okay.
honest. Okay. Let's see here. Any other questions?
I have a general question.
Okay.
Um, let's say, for purposes of discussion, I have Link2chat. I have Link2chat right now. I've done my channels, my departments, all my responses. I'm working great. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have gone to ACT and, my renewal comes up or whatever, but now I'm on the ACT Advantage plans.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to happen with all the stuff I built under Keystroke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to be under ACT Advantage. Like, is that stuff going to migrate?
Yes. So that's, but let's be clear, that's going to be stage 2. So
Okay.
next, we're going to hear next week the launch date of Act Advantage, and Act Advantage is going to, the first iteration, V.1, is going to be for new accounts or new to cloud accounts. So let's say pro or premium customers going over to cloud or Act Advantage. So that's who is going to be the first people. They haven't discussed with us what V2 is going to look like. That will involve migrating accounts, but you know that was one of the first questions that I raised with them.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just do here. So Scott, I'm going to bring over the history. So here is what it looks like. It is a web activity. It is it's showing here under the details, the description, the log, okay, the date, the time, everything. Okay, we don't add a duration to it, just because it's, I guess that's arcane, but and then the regarding is the chat transcript number. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, any other questions? Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. I hope this was useful to you. I hope the series has been useful to you. It was good for me to kind of go through and research some of the transition issues and cover them with you all, and I hope that you guys will all attend the noon Eastern commercial call on Monday, where Joe and others will go through some of the more finer details of the Act Advantage offer. Okay, so with that, thank you all, and have a great weekend.